Friendship supreme. Friendship supreme. Finding the geek within.
Hey everybody, my name's Michael.
My name's Cleve.
And welcome to an exciting, I was about to dub you. And my name's, welcome to an exciting episode exciting episode of Friendship
Supreme.
One of the podcasts that dares to ask, what would happen if you took Game of Thrones and said, let's make it more samurai-like and less dragony?
We don't know yet. No, you would get the Shogun. I love this whole era. I couldn't live in it, but I love it. I love all of it. It terrifies me though. Like I don't want any of what you got going on.
Oh,
none of it.
You wouldn't just jump on the sword for making an interruption?
Fuck no.
And your whole bloodline?
And be like, hey, my baby too. You got that?
Take us all. I'm so sorry.
Fuck no, man.
We are watching.
And the fucking the water. I've been like, fucking save me. Like I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
We're watching the Hulu miniseries that is known as Shogun. Yeah.
It's so weird because it says Hulu original, and then it's by FX, and FX is usually cable. So I don't know necessarily what their who has it, but anyway.
I believe Hulu owns FX.
Gotcha. Because Disney owns Fox.
The long scheme of everything.
Because Disney owns Fox and Disney owns Hulu, and they're like, "Hey, little brother, you can have FX."
You're starting to get it now.
Yeah.
To see. Look,
poor
people should just have fucking cereal for dinner. Okay, shut up. Eat your cereal.
I did. I saw a TikTok that was like, "Hey, here comes the boycott. Here's the brands to avoid." I was like, "All right."
Did that today? I was shopping this morning. Did grocery shopping this morning. Started like grabbing stuff. I'm like, you know what? Hold on a second. Is this made by Kellogg? Nah, we good. Okay.
I buy knockoff fucking Pop-Tarts.
Doing our part. Fuck you, Kellogg. Fucking capitalize off fucking broke people. Bitches. Anyways, guys. That's not what today's episode. We watched the first episode.
A little bit.
That's fair. We watched the first episode about Shogun. It is I believe you're gonna love this. Based on real events of the 17th era, the beginning of the Edo period.
Holy Bloodsport.
17th century. Sorry. This is
like Bloodsport.
Yeah, kind of like Bloodsport, but like essentially these are real regents that existed. This is a real struggle that happened. That may be it. Because I don't know how to explain this other than we tend to take things like this and change a lot. Cleve and I are Cleve and I are both big fans of the feudal Japan era. I have been known to tell people that they should go watch a movie called Ghost Dog because it's the greatest movie to ever exist. And it's about a man that lives his whole... What?
No, it's not set in feudal Japan, by the way.
Not. It's about a guy who reads a book and lives his life based on feudal Japan. And I have read that book and lived my life reading that book many times. Not led my life by that book, but I've read that book many a times. And it happens to take place in around the same era, so it's I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's to come. But anyways, guys, Cleve just likes it because he likes swords. And just Cleve also has an appreciation for that era.
Yeah,
he's allowed to talk about it.
It's the honor and respect and the. I mean, I won't make you murder your baby, but like
that resolution, man. The idea that if I so much as embarrass you, I'm willing to just fucking end it all. There's a dedication that they had to their lords that was unmatched. It's the reason why they were so fucking difficult to defeat.
Like, fucking, can we just take a finger? Like, do we have to fucking go for this? Is this option one?
That's option
Like,
one.
is there not? Do I not get a written warning, or do
Well,
we have to
I
just
don't
go
think.
all the way to termination?
Here's the thing. I don't think he would have required it if they went home if he'd not offered it in front of everybody. Boy,
That's what I'm
it's real
thinking.
dumb.
Like,
You go back and you're like, I'm not gonna make him do it. And they're like, what a
and then
bitch.
I thought maybe like they're gonna like sneak the baby out. Anyway, we're getting ahead. Um,
Yeah, let's talk about it, man.
so so it starts off with our Anglo characters on a ship
English
where
boys.
it seems like they're lost, and they stumble upon this Japanese village, and they are taken prisoner. On the other side, um, Osaka is the name of the city.
Mhm. Osaka is
Um,
where
I said Aura.
Osaka is where
It's the big city.
the
It's
big
in New
city that
York.
they're going to. Yeah,
Um,
Quito is where they came
there,
from.
there's a struggle for power and an impeachment attempting to take place from who I'm gonna say is our main character.
Yep,
They probably wanted to be
Blackbeard,
fucking
Blackberry,
Blackthorn,
Blackthorn, the
but I'm
stupid
gonna say
pirate.
it's uh it's the other guy because I don't want it to be him.
Ishida?
Huh?
Oh no, not Ishido. Yoshi.
Toranaga, yeah.
Yeah, Yoshi.
They're attempting to impeach him. It was his brother who was in charge of the whole land,
He
and
was
he has since
yeah.
passed.
It's Tycho, right?
Mhm. And they separated the region until the heir
Era. Yeah.
is
Oh, Air. Yeah.
old enough
H. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is old enough to take over, which is 16, which is wild, but whatever.
In Anglo-Saxon countries, it was like much younger, if I feel better. Like
Uh,
whenever they felt ready.
right. I think it's wild in general, but yes.
In Game of Thrones, I think they had like an 8-year-old girl fucking running the world, but like her mom told her things or like let her.
Everyone wears pink on Thursdays.
It's on
Says
Wednesdays,
your
man.
queen. Huh?
On Wednesdays we wear pink, dog.
Hmm. That's very much so.
Yeah, it's I agree. I think Yoshi is the main character because it's kind of everything's happening to him and it'll all be revolving around him. I think Blackthorn is possibly your vessel to live through to understand what's going on because
He's not my choice, but sure. I wanted to live through Rodriguez. I fucking loved that guy. That guy was great.
yeah,
Everything
agreed.
about that guy was killing it for me.
Yeah,
Everything about that guy.
loved it. Yeah, I don't know how you'd like to. I don't know that we want to tell the whole story about what happened, or if you want to just talk about some things that did happen, or
I mean, it's the first episode. I don't
yeah,
mind. That's not too much spoilers that we could even give with one episode. There are 2 episodes out. 3 by the time this is hitting your ears, if you're listening to this when we post it, which surely you are. And then you're also hitting the little thumbs up button
thumbs up.
a little bit.
You're not
Yes,
hitting
new
thumbs
episodes
up.
every Tuesday.
Bringing us back
Also,
to episodical, like weekly releases is just barbaric.
yeah, I know.
Give it
Well, you
all to
got
me.
you got 2 the first time.
Let me just soak in it all, like a
They gave
boiling
you
pot of water.
they gave you 2 the first time so that you would soak it in, and then you go, fuck. All right, I guess I'll be back next week.
What was the uncle's name that burned people alive or boiled the man alive?
His name was Kashigi Yabushi Shide.
We'll go with Kashigi. That's fine. You
Yeah.
can go first names.
Well,
Um,
uh, yeah, sure.
yeah,
I'm like, some people's last names are easier for me, but
that's
yeah, I
fair.
feel you.
Uh,
He's a
uh,
fucking. I thought he was our villain.
I
I feel
loved.
like he's not.
I don't think there's gonna be any clear cut villain, if I'm being honest. I mean, obviously,
White people.
accurate, the English, also the Portuguese. You
In
already
Spain.
came here and fucking spread your entire Catholicism all throughout the country. Nice,
Hmm?
good for you guys.
Nice. Nice.
Um, it's so interesting to see too, like the Christianity and like it kind of fusing with some of the beliefs that are within the culture already and stuff. So
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to see that. It wasn't good for the Japanese when other people started landing on their island.
Well, because they have a way of life, whether it's good or bad. They have a way of life, but they definitely. I think it's safe to say that, especially in that time, nobody believed their word like they believed their word, right? Because even Catholics have their own problems that have been around for quite some time, and a little bit in this episode. But like, in Japan, if you upset your leader, you said, "Hey, I'll fucking take me and my whole baby out. Don't even worry about it. It's our fault.
It
We
really
did it."
stuck with Cleve. That
He-
scene's really good.
like, it's just the first thing he said.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, sir. Here is my ring finger to show you how much I am sorry for what I did.
it is an honor thing, man.
It was like, pew,
There
right
were
away.
um they used to carry rouge in their sleeve because if they went out drinking and their cheeks turned red, it was embarrassing because it meant that they were drunk. And so they would go out and drink, put rouge makeup on their face so that they didn't blush, because if they did and then someone of importance saw them, like that was embarrassing, and thus you then honorably killed yourself.
So, so we keep mentioning the fucking part, so I'll just explain the scene. Our main character is being impeached. Like he's sitting in front of the council, and one man of his clan steps up and goes, "Hey, that's fucking bullshit. You know that you guys, the nerve of you to call this man for treason." He was like, "How dare he try to talk to you like that?" And the Lord goes, "You assume that he embarrassed me in some way." And the guy realizes what he did, and he's like, "I am so sorry. If you like, I will end my whole bloodline today if
Exactly what
if
he
you're
said.
if you're if you're okay with
And
it."
I offer my life and my
And he
bloodline to you.
and he's like, "Yeah, I appreciate that." And then there's a moment later where he's talking to like his right hand man, like an older gentleman, and he's like, it was embarrassing what he did. He was like, "I actually think it's brave that he spoke up. I'm still gonna let him do it though."
He made a mention of too. He was like, "I'm really tired of all this senseless killing and stuff, blah blah blah." And then he did it. Like I genuinely did think he was gonna somehow be like, you know what, bygones be bygones. Go do some really shitty work for a little while, and we'll be good.
And then Mirko, when she went to talk the wife into giving up the baby,
Yeah.
I thought that she was gonna maybe snuggle the baby out. That's not what happened either. It went down. It
Nope.
was a
He
ceremony.
put some
They
ceremonial
had an
clothes on.
audience.
Yeah, they sure did. They closed the door. Well, they closed the door. The audience didn't get to see this. Um, they closed the door,
If there's
and
multiple men in the room when it happens, it's still an
fair
audience to
enough.
me.
They had to help.
Yeah.
So the way it would work is
Look at an adorable baby.
he would, unfortunately, he would uh
Do the deed.
he would cut the head off of the baby, and they would then cut his head off.
And this show was not afraid to cut a head off.
No,
Because there's a point where we had first captured
it was a clean ass
Blackthorn,
cut.
and someone was like trying to pray for him. And in the middle of his fucking shoulder to shoulder, that it just flopped. I was like, "Whoa, hold on, hold on,
Yeah,
I
he
wasn't
said
ready."
something along the lines of like, "You can't do this" or something to him, and then he turned around and fucking clean
I'll
head
show
cut
you
off.
what I fucking can't do.
Yeah, yeah. You don't, especially a sociopath that puts a man inside a boiling pot of water.
That was before we met that man.
Yeah, I think that was that dude, wasn't it? Or no?
It was like his right hand.
Ah, yeah, okay. Um,
So that part, do you want to explain that part?
Yeah. Essentially, to teach the captain, the pilot, who is Blackthorn, that we don't futz about here in Kyoto. They took one of his guys, who's not really his guys, by the way. Like, it's so weird because like he has no relationship to these men other than he was hired by them. Because he wasn't the captain, he was just a pilot. He was hired, but anyway.
Yeah, he says my crew, my crew, my crew.
Yeah, they're not
I
his
guess
crew.
once the captain goes down,
Then he
which
is
he
killed himself.
5 minutes into the show, I guess he takes on that responsibility.
Yes.
I don't know.
But anyway, to teach him a lesson of like we don't futz about here, the Lord in that area decided to put one of his men inside of a boiling pot of water. Well,
It's a big old black pot.
he put him in the water with his hands tied behind his back so he couldn't climb out, and then proceeded to boil it. And the reason I bring that up is because that's far worse than just being tossed into boiling water, because you just slowly feel it happening. And he did it, and his right-hand man basically said he likes to listen to and witness people's last moments before they die to see what they do, and see how they react. And I'll tell you, this man did the best he could do, right? So your body, you can't make yourself drown. It's physically impossible. Like, you can't force yourself to drown. Because your body's going to come up for air whether you want to or not. When it got to a point of, because he's just screaming through the whole night. When it got to
the poor village,
I know
everyone in, we'll say 20 miles can hear this man
100%.
screaming for mercy,
and it's the most gut-wrenching scream because this man's like burning alive.
It cuts to like this poor little girl who's got her ears over her hands over her ears.
At one point in time, the Lord's people are just walking around like, "Hey, I'm really sorry about what we're doing to your village. Hey, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience." But you can't drown yourself. He can't climb out. So he does what I guess the best thing you could possibly do.
What you're left with, yeah.
He takes his head and fucking bashes it into this iron cauldron until he is dead or knocked out or whatever. But he finally, all of a sudden, silence comes over. The Lord goes and writes in the book and is like, "What a disappointment!" Like every other time. Like, here's the thing, right? So the expectation, the unrealistic expectation of that era is that if it were to happen, that he would come to a complete resolve within himself that it is what is going to happen and accept it, and that he would just reflect on his life in silence until he passed. That is the expectation. If you're wondering what he's looking for someone to have such resolve in life that he would be okay to just sit there and accept it and sit in quiet until he dies.
Maybe boiling means not the way to get that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe stab me and let me bleed out.
Fair enough.
That might be a way that I can go, okay, this is my time.
I thought
I have to scream because my skin hurts.
I thought it was funny. It's the mind over matter thing. It's whether or not you can come over the fact that it hurts so much that you don't say. Yeah, I agree. I'm just letting you know the philosophy in this.
I touch the stove sometimes. I'm like, oh, no. You ever put your arm in the car? Oh, God, okay. No, thank you.
Not today. I fucking make bacon this morning. Pop some grease on me. I'm like, not today.
No, put your whole body in that.
It's funny to me that is the case, because I would say that he considers himself to have done the correct thing, and we're supposed to get that reaction later on. So later on, Blackthorn is being transported to Osaka via boat, and terrible storm happens. The pilot of the current ship, Rodriguez, guy that he likes, fell off the boat. Blackthorn, quick thinking, throws an oar to him because it floats. He grabs onto it, and
he was quick thinking because I was like, "Well, that guy's dead."
Yep. And the best that Blackthorn can do is get them to the island, back onto Japan, until the storm goes away. He's then like, we gotta go find Rodriguez, and everybody's like, nah, fuck that. And then this crazy lord was like, nah, like maybe we could go. And so they go and find him. He's on some rocks down a very tall cliff. And Blackthorn's like, I'll go down there. And none of them speak the language that the other's speaking. And somehow the Lord ends up going down there because he's worried that the guy's calling him a bitch, basically.
Yeah.
He goes down
You
there.
can't turn down the challenge for
Right.
real men.
He goes down there. The line snaps as he's climbing down. He falls on the rocks. Gets kind of fucked up.
Would have been dead then, by the way.
100%.
Continue.
And at one point in time, he then falls into the water because the water's bashing up against the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
He falls into the water, and he is very obviously just being taken in by the swell, right? The swell keeps hitting him, and he's just kind of getting dragged down, and he's coming up for air and gasping, and then getting dragged down. And you see him take a moment, he becomes calm or peaceful, and Blackthorn's watching this whole thing, like, what the fuck's gonna happen, blah, blah. I think he's, like, excited, like, oh, he's gonna die, thank God he was a dick.
I would have pushed it, because there's two guys holding the rope,
Yeah.
and the rope snaps, and they're like, go get another rope, and the guy runs. I would have then pushed the other man off.
I think he knew that if he did that, the other people would never fucking trust what happened there, and if they ever found him, he'd dead. But I agree, I don't disagree.
Fair enough.
But here's the thing. I think that the director or producer or whatever really wanted us to feel the same thing that they made Blackthorn feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get that. In that he was watching and he was so impressed or taken back by the resolve that this guy had down there to reach a point of calmness, draw his sword, and he was about to commit seppuku. He was about to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
And like to him, he was like, how could he be so calm and like so peaceful and know that it's okay to die and like blah blah blah. And like so Blackthorn's like mind blown, like, oh my god, this is amazing. To me, I was like, what a bitch. Like these guys are fucking boiling in pots of fucking water, and you making fun of them, but you're like 10 seconds in the water, nope, fuck this, dead. Like, bitch. It was funny to me that like we're supposed to be like, oh my god, what a resolution we found here, a resolve that he has within himself to do this. And you're gonna hear me say that word a lot because it was really common used in their literature back then to describe what they did. But it just I was just like, all right. I mean,
it's so funny to me because I think, well, what if you could get out?
Right.
Like, we're already done.
He was like, I'm not going to struggle. How dare you? And then he almost he almost kills himself, and then a rope hits him in the face. He's like, oh, I guess I can get out now.
All right. You got me. Fine, I'll come back. So what are your thoughts on Blackthorn?
Look, I already hate the English. Historically, I don't care for a lot of things that the English did historically. We'll say it that way. I was greatly looking forward to this series. I did not watch very many trailers on it. I knew what it was going to be about, what era it was going to be about, so I was excited for the telling of it. I understand why, because unfortunately it was not heavily, but it was a thing that happened. But I wish we could get something like this and not have to be like, well, here's some white people in it too. I don't need it. Like, I don't need the Portuguese. I don't need...
You could have given me a whole story of like what they had going on.
Yeah.
And I would have been interested.
It's going to come into play because of weaponry. I know that. And that's kind of why I'm not like a super big fan of it. Like, we're going to get into a point of introducing gunpowder to the Japanese, and they're aware of the weapons that the English currently have. So like they know the Portuguese have this, they know that the English have this. And so I already see the plays that are going to happen, but like I wish that we could have exactly what I described, which is Game of Thrones, but feudal Japan, because that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of political
Mhm.
deceit and a lot of, I couldn't believe this happened, and different families that are going to be coming against each other, and it's going to be really good. But at the same time, I also
What?
really don't like this actor. I don't
But
know.
like,
Like, I'm sure maybe he's doing a great job for you. He annoys the fuck out of me, and it's not like he's that, like, I think he's trying to. You never watched Lost, huh? He's trying to be like the Sawyer character. I was trying to think of any other. Oh, you know what? The fucking what's his name? The guy that played Punisher in Walking Dead.
Mhm.
Shane. He's
Mhm.
trying to be like the Shane character, where like he's an asshole, but like we love him because he's that lovable kind of asshole. And I just
No,
like it's not even
I don't
that
love
that
him.
annoys me.
But let me tell you, at the end of episode 2, they showed like what's going to happen to the series, and he's involved, sir.
Yeah, he's in 10
So,
episodes, all 10.
mhm.
I have no interest in him, and I agree. I think he's right. I think that they want him to be the main character, and I genuinely feel like it's this idea that we're using him as a vessel because the average viewer is like not going to want to watch this unless there's a white dude they can relate to.
Well, I mean, how do you think that guy that reviewed Turning Red's going to feel if we don't put this guy in there?
I mean, I watched
Fuck
that
that
movie
guy.
again the other day. I fucking love that.
Fuck
That
that
movie
guy.
rocks, man. That
The
movie
guy's a
just
fucking idiot.
that movie
But we
fucking
pay
every
him.
time
People pay
hits.
him money to talk about
It hits every
that.
time.
Anyway,
I know what's up. I love Four Town, and I love that movie.
yeah, everything about it was perfect. I really liked this show.
Yeah,
I thought it was really pretty.
beautiful scenes. I gotta imagine they're actually filming in Japan. There
Mhm.
were some. Well, I'd be curious, but there were definitely some very beautiful shots, and they're
Yeah.
doing a good job.
I don't think we're gonna see Rodriguez again, but he was one of my more ideal characters.
Uh,
He was just really funny.
I love. He's like, hey, like I know you're a pirate. Thanks for saving me. I'm giving you a heads up because you saved me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna let the Portuguese know you're here.
Yeah, so that's the story, is that they say that they're just merchants moving goods from one part of the sea to the next. And he pushes it to the end. Turns out they've been going to Portuguese Catholic bases and just burning them to the ground and killing everybody that they stop at, which big shock, right? Um, Also, there was another scene that I really liked. Um, Yoshi had sent ahead his right hand man, an older gentleman, and he gets there and he's like, "Hey, what's this boat?"
Oh,
And he's like, "Oh, don't even worry about it. I've already got this taken care of." And he's like, "Okay." He was like, "All the guns and the gold and the silver that you got off there, that's ours now." He's like, "Well, this is my area, so I feel like it's mine." And he says it in Japanese, obviously, but the tone that he says it in is just everything for me. Because he basically goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were loyal to our Lord," and puts his hand on the sword. And everyone behind him also puts their hand on his sword. And he's like, "You know, Rhett, yeah,
I
you
was
know,
gonna surprise him. It was a surprise gift. You're so crazy.
oh man,
Oh
I
yeah, that
rewound
was
that
good.
shit. That shit was
It was
hilarious to
good.
me. It is just as deep, and like he fucking embodied it. I could hear it in English almost.
Did this show also make you look up the word fife? I had to. I couldn't remember what the word
Yes,
fife
yes, I
meant. I was
did.
like,
I did.
everyone's like, I'm gonna increase your fife. Oh, your fife, and I'm like, what the fuck is fife?
Yep, and for
Uh,
I'll forever know now because of this
yeah.
show.
In case you guys are wondering out there, fife is the land that you are essentially in charge of or over. Like it's like your domain. Uh, yeah, no, I like that guy. That character's gonna be fun. Or fun, I say, but like an
The older man
enjoyable
or the
character to
guy
watch.
that,
The older dude.
yeah.
He's definitely a cool character to pay attention to. Um, like I said, I mean, all 5 of the regions are real. This is a real situation that did take place. To what degree, we'll never know, unfortunately, because, you know, unless you go read
Sure.
a history book, maybe.
Sorry to be whitewashed.
That's real whitewashed already, man. God,
Did you?
I just have no interest in them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
It
care about the
definitely.
English being upset about Catholicism. I understand what happened there. I know that. I don't need to.
It's a B story for sure.
Like, I just don't. I don't need that part of it at all.
Don't worry. There's a Blackthorn Miracle connection that
Oh,
should
I
be coming
didn't
soon
doubt
too.
that. I didn't doubt that of one bit.
Of course, obviously, right? I will say because you didn't watch the second episode. I ended up watching it. I thought you had watched both of them, and she's like getting him set up in a room, and she's like, "These women were here to help you bathe." He's like, "Oh, I already bathed," and she goes, "In the jail?" And he's like, "Well, yeah," and she goes, "That was like days ago." He goes, "What do you want me to bathe twice in one day, or twice in 1 week?" And she's like, "Okay." And she turns around and tells the women, she's like, "Hey, he doesn't want to take a bath." And they they give they give each other the grossest looking faces, like, "Ugh, fool, what's wrong with you?" And like, just get up and leave. I was like, yeah, yeah, you're a gross pig man." But she gonna get her heart apparently.
I just,
Stupid.
it's the Christianity thing. They're fucking goddamn white people and their fucking religion. Fuck it up.
I, I like when he was like, "So you don't like the Portuguese? They're Catholic and you're a Christian." And he's like, isn't it the same God? What are we doing?" He's like, "I mean, yeah, but no. It's dumb. It's dumb. Your war is dumb. This is what I'm telling you. Your war is stupid." Do you know is there any significance to his the guy's ponytail going upward? Is it because it's either got to be status or like a show of
So they
money
don't cut their hair, but
or
yeah, they style it up.
well, okay, so the guy who boiled people,
Uh-huh.
just to quickly not get into his name, his ponytail came out and down, but the guy who's running the coup or not the impeachment, his ponytail just goes up, and I didn't know if it was just a hairstyle
I
or
think
if
it's
it
just a
showed some
hairstyle.
form of like, look at me,
No, I mean
look what I got, my hair stands up.
it was a status symbol to have like ornaments within your hair, like when your hair is done nicely. But
Mhm.
otherwise, most of them had the fucking shaved head with the side piece and the.
So much, such a weird. Why? What does it do for you?
I'd have to assume maybe armor. Maybe it's like
What does
a
it do?
like wearing
What
the
does it do to?
armor. It's more
Maybe,
comfortable,
yeah. I guess more
or
comfortable than
maybe it's
having
like
hair
a
there.
maybe it's like
The priests too, by the way, just big bald spots.
maybe it is like a vulnerability thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look into that one. That I'm not sure.
I've
Uh,
never enjoyed the
the
from
hairstyles.
fucking Ninja Turtles 3 when I first saw it to fucking now. Never liked that style.
Uh, Girls 3 is a awesome representation of. I was telling Cleve before we
Yeah,
recorded this. I when the Way of the Samurai came out, or Last of the Samurai came out,
the last samurai.
the Last Samurai. I loved that movie, and I was 16, 15, 16. And I really loved that movie. And then later on realized like it's so problematic. And I think that's what I feel about the involvement of the Portuguese in the
Mhm.
is that like it takes away from the beautiful story that could exist by being like, but like also this was going on. And I understand that it was going on, but it could definitely be a very side thing that's happening and I don't have to worry about it. But it's 100% going to be the main story about everything going on.
I think it also breaks down because a lot of this is just in Japanese with subtitles. So I think it breaks that up, which can be overwhelming to some people to just have a whole show in Japanese and watching those subtitles and reading the subtitles.
There was one, and you'll
So
have to. Oh, go ahead.
it's definitely no, it's definitely just appealing to okay, look, you don't have to read right now. We'll just say it in English.
Yeah, it's not coddle. It's catering to a mass demographic as opposed to just someone that's really excited about this time period, which is fine. He at least maybe dubbed this for those
I
because
would have liked
I'll be honest.
options.
I'll be honest. My wife's not willing to watch this with me anymore. Like I think telling her about it, she was like, "Oh, that could be really interesting." And then she was like, "But is it in subtitles? Because I don't really." And I kind of get it. Like it does detract, right? Like if I'm having to read, then I'm not necessarily focusing exactly on what's
I'm
going
not
on in the
taking,
scene.
yeah, hard to take on everything else
And
when your eyes are
so,
just at the bottom.
right. And so like I don't mind. I as someone that's watched anime for a good chunk of my life, like I don't mind reading subtitles. It just is what it is. But I do see that it can detract from something, especially something as pretty as has been so far.
Right. And like I couldn't just get up to get something to
Right.
drink and just listen. I had to like pause it and go and come back because I didn't want to miss anything.
Yep.
So
So
yeah.
I think it does detract a little
And
bit.
honestly, I didn't try. I didn't try to put it into any other format. So maybe there's something there. Because I, in my mind, I guess I kind of put it like Prey, where they did it in several different ways.
Yeah.
The different ways you could enjoy it. And I guess I would have preferred to have the Japanese be in English and then the Portuguese
In
be in
Portuguese.
Portuguese because we get that so much less. But then also, I'm taking away these actors being able to speak their language in their show. So I'm like, I just respect it for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. In the end, so like I think it detracts a little bit from it, and I think they'll lose some of their audience. But in the end, it's much like most times when I go to a restaurant. Like I'm not going to tell the chef how they should cook something. I'm going to try it the way they want to do it, unless like
Yeah.
obviously. Anyway, the point is that this is how they wanted you to take it. Hopefully, it was the right way.
It definitely didn't deter me.
No,
So,
I don't think anything would have deterred us from
but
watching this
I
one.
I can see it deterring others.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a good series, 10 episodes. So you're in and out. It's not going to continue on. Hopefully, it will finish the story because there is a
Well, I
definitive
gotta know.
end to
I
it.
gotta know what happens when Blackthorn gets back to his native land, or does he become the king there? Find
I
out.
think he's going to continue to live. I think this is going to be a samurai situation. 100%. Like he's gonna end up like accepting the culture because it's so beautiful, and he's gonna want to live there. And
Yeah, they're gonna give him armor. It's gonna be great.
oh yeah, sure. He's
Maybe
gonna fight with
that's what I'm
them.
saying. Maybe he should just be in charge.
Nah, I mean the whole play here, right, is that uh main dude who's getting impeached is going to ask him if he can help fight. He's gonna promise them that like I can get the English on your side, and then like they're gonna try to push to take over. Gonna go
Yeah, like they do, like they do.
because
And
they have
love,
guns. Because they have guns. That's
love,
well, it comes down to the guns, right?
love.
Cannons and guns. Did you know who doesn't have that? The Japanese. The Japanese have swords and pikes.
Boy,
So,
those swords they're ruthless with them.
fuck man, so
Man,
rude.
just praying. Man, just praying to catch one.
But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Check out the series Shogun. Let us know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. If you guys are looking for more content, we have content everywhere. Just look up Friendship Supreme. You're gonna find us somewhere. I googled us one day. Do that too, and just us everywhere. Weird.
Did you know when this episode posts, it will have been 5 years when our first episode posted.
That's not even counting the people that listen to Blastoise Flinched, which is somewhere out there. I think it's on my hard drive. I have the whole. It doesn't exist out in the world anymore.
I
But
just remember one title, and it was Joanna Man ahead of its time. It was one of the names of the episode. That's all. That's the only one I remember.
maybe one day we'll re-release the whole catalog.
We should just like react.
Yeah, Thanks for thanks for listening to us, guys. I've been Michael.
This is Cleve. And I don't know
Oh,
what the
I thought you were loyal to our Lord. He did the way he put his fucking thumb on the sword and popped it up.
Boy,